There's so many fun ways that you can use inexpensive vases in your home. Let me show you some of my favorites. Recently I was shopping at Crate & Barrel and I came across this really pretty vase with succulents in it, and I knew I could recreate it much more budget friendly. For this DIY, you're gonna need two different clear vases. This one is from the thrift store, this one is from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna use this one as my base. So clean it up really nicely, and then this is going to go down as my base. To attach this one on top, I'm just gonna use a little bit of E6000. I like to put my container on first and figure out where I need to put the glue based on where they line up. I'm seeing that along the edge is where I need to put my glue. I'm gonna place the vase back on top. Now before you move this around, you're gonna wanna let it sit overnight, but I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up. In the Crate & Barrel inspo pick, they use these large white rocks, and at Dollar Tree, they have smaller white rocks, but the larger rocks they have are the natural kind, and I felt like that fit in a little bit better, and they're the ones I like. So I'm gonna add some natural rocks from Dollar Tree to the top vase. Dollar Tree used to only have their succulents out in the spring, but I've been noticing in my store they're keeping them out year round. They must be super popular. So I'm gonna add 3 Dollar Tree succulents. You just wanna make sure if any of them have the clamps on the bottom, you just pull that off. So I was able to recreate that Crate & Barrel piece for under $10. I love Audible, so I'm excited to share that they're sponsoring this video. You know that I love to DIY, and I spend most of my days down in my filming space DIYing. There is absolutely nothing better than putting on a new audiobook and getting lost in a motivational story. This time of year, I have been drawn to finding stories that inspire me, and Audible has such a great selection to choose from. Currently, I've been listening to The Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes for motivation for this upcoming year. One of my other favorite titles in my Audible library is Atomic Habits. You've probably heard of that audiobook. It really helped me with making better choices throughout my day. Now, if you're a new member, you can get a free trial on Audible by going to audible.com/lizfenwickdiy. As an Audible member, you can choose one title each month to keep from the entire catalog of audiobooks, including the latest bestsellers and new releases. In addition to the audiobooks, Audible also offers podcasts. You can download Audible on your phone, and it makes it so easy to listen anytime, anywhere. I love listening while I'm doing chores around my house or running errands in my car. If you'd like to try out Audible, you can get a free trial by going to audible.com/lizfenwickdiy. Let me show you how I made this vase. So the last time I was shopping at the thrift store, I came across this clear vase, and I know this shape is really unique. I didn't know what I was gonna do with it at the time, but I went ahead and picked it up. It was $6 at my thrift store. So I cleaned it up, and then I knew I wanted to paint it with more of a gritty texture. We've been seeing all over Pottery Barn's website these really cool textured vases, and they're always really popular. So I knew I wanted to paint this vase so I could put some large stems in it. So I used a color called Campfire Ash, and the way I like to get my paints is I will go to Lowe's or any other store, and I'll pick out the colors I want ahead of time and just get a sample paint. So what I'm using is a small sample paint I picked up at Lowe's. I'm gonna mix that with some Epsom salt. Whenever you want a gritty texture, you wanna mix something that's gonna create that gritty texture, like Epsom salt. Baking soda is also great as well, but I'm gonna mix those together on a plate, and I'm gonna paint it on with a paintbrush. Now I did have to do 2 coats, letting it dry in between each coat, but if you get up close, it just has this really cool texture. Now it's dry now. I wanted to add in some stems. So I went to Hobby Lobby to find some long stems, because you guys know we can't find stems this long at Dollar Tree, but thought these were really cool. They have these pretty flowers on it. Now if I put this stem directly in, you're gonna see it's too long. It's not gonna work. I did pick up 3 of these stems, but I'm gonna have to bend and get it the size that I need it to be. Now if they still don't look good, another technique I like to use is actually use a rubber band to put all the stems together. So we'll see if we need to do that. Now the goal with your stems is to have them all kind of upright, but you don't want to make them too short because the length is nice. All right, I think I want to clamp them together. So you can wrap them with a rubber band. I'm gonna use a binder clip and put that down low so you can't see it. It's gonna help your stems stand upright so much better. But just move them around until you're happy with them. It looks better on this side. If you like the look of fresh flowers but don't want to put them in your everyday vases, I have a hack for you. So I want to put my fresh flowers in this black vase that I just keep sitting out, but I don't want to fill this up with water. So I'm going to take this mason jar, fill it up with water, and then I'm going to place it down into the vase. From there, I will style my real florals in this vase, and you won't be able to tell that I have the mason jar in this vase. So I have two floral options. I have some greenery and some stems. Let's put them together. So a few of my tips for adding fresh flowers: make sure that you cut each of the stems before you put it into the water, and you want to cut at a 45-degree angle. Also, if you have any leaves that fall below the water line, you want to pull those off before you put it in, and you can just kind of see what is going to work best for you. A lot of times I'll put them in and then I'll pull them out and resize them. So I think they're a little long. I don't really know until I put them in there, so I'm gonna pull them out, cut off about 2 inches. I think I like that length better. Just have fun with your flower arrangements. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can always cut more off. I feel like that is already looking better. You can kind of see it from this side. Now we're gonna add in our greenery. For this next DIY, you're just going to need a clear glass vase from Dollar Tree and a roll of wood veneer from a store like Lowe's or Home Depot. You're also gonna need some E6000 and clamps. Now this is a project that's not hard, but you do have to allow a little bit of dry time in between. So start by cutting a piece of veneer that's going to fit around the top edge of your glass container. Then you can add on some E6000 to the back of the veneer, and then using one of your Dollar Tree clamps, clamp it in place. I did let this dry for several hours before I moved on to my next step. Next, I wanted to create some veneer pieces that would start at the top and go all the way to the underside of my piece. I measured out a piece of veneer that started at the top that went about 2 inches longer than my vase. I'm gonna cut 9 veneer pieces that are all the same length. Now you're gonna need a few clamps. That's why I recommend these pink ones. You can get them in the Crafter's Square at Dollar Tree. Put a little E6000 on the back of one of your veneer pieces and line it up on the top of your container, and then add a clamp to hold it in place. Do this all the way around, making your spacing about as even as possible, but don't worry if it's not perfect. Now, once this has a chance to dry, you can attach the pieces to the bottom. I used hot glue for this. You could use E6000 if you wanted to, but I wanted all of my wood veneer pieces to stick out a little bit, so I tried to make how much they were sticking out consistent all the way around. Now, once I had them all glued to the bottom, I realized that it wasn't steady on top, so I found this wood ring from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna place some hot glue on the top of that and place my vase onto the ring. Let that dry, and then you can add a candle, and here's how it turned out. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is DIY. I'm in my office and I wanted to show you guys a vase hack. So this vase that I have up here on the shelf, see how the stems are just kind of poking out a little bit at the top? Those are actually longer stems. So let me show you how to make them look more full and a little bit better. So if you put your stems down in here and you can't see them very well, what you want to do is get some old bags or newspaper, crumple it up, put it at the bottom of your vase. Then put your stems inside. It's gonna look so much better. Pottery Barn just released their new vases for 2024, and this was one that I wanted to recreate. So for this DIY, you're going to need a glass from Dollar Tree and then also one of their new candle holders. This is one I picked up on my last shopping trip. With your two pieces, you're gonna paint these with the color Orange Flambe. I mixed the Orange Flambe with a little bit of baking soda. It's gonna help give me a gritty texture when I paint it onto my items. So I'm gonna add one coat to the glass and the candle holder. Now you're probably gonna have to come back in and add a second coat just to make sure everything's covered. Once that's dry, use E6000 on the top of your candle holder. Place the glass on top, and then once that dries, you can add in your favorite florals. Now here's what it looks like when the piece is put together. What should we put inside? When I was shopping at Hobby Lobby, I came across these gorgeous florals. Of course I get them when they're on sale, but I'm gonna add these to my container. So when you pull your flowers out of the package, the first thing I like to do is put them in my vase and see about how long they are. And that is gonna give you an idea of how far you want to cut down. I know I want to cut probably about 3 inches off of my stem. I err on the side of caution, so I'll cut about 2 inches off just in case I don't cut too much. Okay, let's place them back in. Okay, that's a pretty good length. I love how they're already kind of tapered, really pretty. This time of year, most of us have Kleenex boxes around our house, but if you don't want them sitting out in your living room, here's a hack you can try. Find a vase. I'm gonna be using this one. You want one that's wider in the middle and then kind of goes together at the top. So you're gonna remove all of your tissues from the box. Just fold your Kleenexes back so that the part that comes out is on top, and then you're gonna place them into your vase. Then you can pull out a tissue when you need it. I feel like this container looks so much better than the box. Every time I head to Dollar Tree, I find something new in the crafters square. I found these wood sticks in a bag and I was like, these are so cool. Let's do something with them. So I think what I want to do is create a tray. So I got one of my large craft sticks. You can pick these up at Walmart. So to create my tray, I'm gonna add hot glue to the front part of my craft stick. I'm gonna start by staggering the pieces on the top. They're just being attached with the hot glue. I'll continue down my craft stick, adding in hot glue and staggering my pieces until I get to the very end of the craft stick. Now to put on top of these, I found these new clear containers at Dollar Tree. These are great. I'm gonna add in some black rocks. I feel like black rocks have a great high-end look, so I'll put those in the bottom of my clear container. I'm gonna add in a candle I got in a 4-pack from Walmart, and I'll place those on my tray. Here's a look at how those turned out. Now for this next DIY, I actually have a piece from IKEA as well as Dollar Tree. But IKEA has a lot of different light fixtures that are really affordable that you can use in a bunch of different DIYs. I picked up this wire IKEA lampshade that I'm gonna use in this next project. I also picked up a clear vase from Dollar Tree. So with my clear vase, I'm gonna spray paint it with 2 coats of a matte black spray paint. Then the cool thing about this vase is it actually fits down into that wire lampshade. So I'm gonna put a little bit of E6000 on the bottom of the vase, and then I'm gonna set it into my lampshade. I'll let that dry completely overnight. Then you can style it as a really cool and funky vase. You can put in any florals that you like. Well, if you zoom in, you're gonna see a really pretty eucalyptus vase. And when I saw that, I knew that I could recreate that with Dollar Tree items. Dollar Tree sells one of these slender vases, so I picked that up. I also had to get some eucalyptus. Now, they do sell eucalyptus stems at Dollar Tree, but in my opinion, they're just not the best quality, so I prefer to get them at Walmart. These I actually picked up at Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna spray the vase with 2 coats of sand dollar. Next, I'm gonna do a sponge technique on the vase. So I need a sponge from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut that down into small pieces. You can get this over in the bathroom section. I'm gonna use a variety of paints in browns, golds, and creams. So what I like to do when I sponge paint is I start with my darker colors. So you're gonna see I'm adding a lot of browns and my golds here. And then I'm gonna come in with my color that's really close to my background, which is a cream. When you add the cream color on top of those darker colors, it's just gonna help it look more blended in. Once my vase had a chance to dry, I added in these eucalyptus stems from Hobby Lobby, and here's how it looks. So for this project, you're gonna wanna get 2 glass vases from Dollar Tree. Here's the secret. You're gonna wanna get one of IKEA's set of wooden coasters. I have bought these before and used them in other projects, so of course I had both items I needed for this project.
Oh, I think, oh my gosh, they have quite a few. Okay, so they have these 2-pack of wood coasters. This is what they look like right up here, and they're $1.99. So I'm going to pick up 2 packs.
It is so simple, you guys. All you do is take the wooden coaster and put it on the top of the glass container. Like, really? Is it that easy? And these make the best containers for Q-tips and cotton balls in your bathroom. Last time I was at Dollar Tree, I found this ribbon that I thought would be perfect for a DIY project. And I have a really quick and easy one for you. So I'm gonna use a Dollar Tree clear vase, and I'm gonna start by hot gluing my ribbon to the bottom of my vase. Then I'll wrap it around till I'm happy with the amount of ribbon that's on there, cut it off and hot glue it in place. And then you can put in your favorite candles, and this looks so pretty sitting out with a grouping of your decor. Now, another way you can store your brushes, this is great if you have a place to display them or you have a craft room. You want a clear glass from Dollar Tree. And then I also picked up some of these crushed glass pieces, but you could use rocks or anything they have at Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna cut a few of these and put them into my container. Then you can place your paintbrushes inside. The thing I like about this is it keeps them separated, so when you go to get a paintbrush, you can see the different ones that you have. Next, I'm going to show you how I created a decorative vase. Now, for this project, you're only going to need 2 items. You're going to need a clear vase from Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some of their bamboo skewers. Now, you guys, I love these bamboo skewers. I use them in so many different crafts and DIYs, and this is the time of year to pick them up. You can grab them in the smaller size as well as the longer ones. I recommend grabbing a few packs of both of these. I wanted my bamboo skewers to go around my clear jar, so I needed to cut them down. So I was kind of experimenting with the best way to do this. So I laid them out on a board, and I used some frog painter's tape to kind of hold them in place because I was hoping to cut them all at the same size. And I taped them on both sides. I figured out exactly where I wanted to cut them. I laid the clear vase down, and then I drew a line across so I knew where they needed to be cut. Then I used my saw, which is great for cutting like smaller items. Then I sawed through the bamboo skewers. Now, as I was doing this, I was kind of moving them around and my lines weren't straight. And so I cut them about halfway, and I figured that would be okay. For the rest of them, I would just kind of pop them off. Once you create a small cut, you can always like pop them off at the ends. This works well too if you're just doing one of them. You can always cut it at the end and then pop off the excess. Next, I was going to attach my bamboo skewers to this clear jar. I found the E6000 was the best option. You want to put the E6000 on with just a little end of your bamboo skewer so that you're not adding too much glue, because we're not going to be painting this. You don't want a lot of excess glue. So I added a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom, put my bamboo skewer on. Then I went about a half an inch and put another one on. I did this all the way around the clear jar. Now E6000 usually takes overnight to dry, so I put some painter's tape really lightly around my jar. I didn't like press it down firmly, and I'm gonna let that sit overnight. The next day I came in and removed the painter's tape and everything was glued on really well. I styled this on my coffee table with a few faux stems. Let me know down in the comments which of these DIYs you're gonna try in your home. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe because I wanna see you back here, and I'll see you in our next one.